Good morning, good morning, Team Sassy Fitness, and happy New Year. This is the first group coaching call of the year, the first of many. As you all know, we meet every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. And I know a lot of you work during those hours, and that's quite all right. That's why I record these calls. And for those of you who happen to be off or don't work on Tuesdays, you can come and join the call live. I am super duper happy that you're here today, whether you're watching this call back later or the ones that are here today. I just want to let you know that today we're going to be talking about what matters with nutrition. Okay? Just so you know, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I don't want you to feel like this is too much and that you have to, because it's the new year, that you have to jump and be this perfect person when it comes to your nutrition. The thing of it is with nutrition, it's all about consistency and balance. All right. So I'm going to do a little housekeeping before we dive in. For those of you who might be new, I want to go ahead and let you know, since this is the first call of the year, that I am a certified health, nutrition, and fitness coach. I am also a military veteran, having served 10 years in the United States Air Force, and I'm also a nationally qualified bodybuilding competitor. I also competed for 10 years. But most importantly, I'm here to help you create a healthy relationship with food and with yourself. Okay? The first things is I highly recommend that you have a food scale and measuring tape. The reason that you need a food scale is because it helps with making sure that you have the right portions of protein. That's what I use it for. And then the little measuring cups help you portion out your carbs, whether it's beans, rice, mashed potatoes, things of that nature. If it's like a baked potato or something like that, that's what the scale would be useful for. So these aren't about obsession. They're about awareness. And things are not going to be absolute. Things are meant to be, it gives you a ballpark of where you need to be. I promise you, when you don't track, you have no idea what you're putting in your body. But when you do track, you have an idea of what you're eating, what you're overeating on, what you're undereating on, so that you can make those adjustments. And when you make those adjustments, it will help you to lose weight, build muscle, and all the things that you are trying to do. Welcome, Isaiah. All the things that you are trying to do. So, a lot of times we get hung up in things being absolutely how it needs to be, things being perfect when we track it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to put it in there, because it's hard to measure something when you don't track it. You don't know you don't know your progress or the lack thereof if you don't track it. Why do you think we go to the doctor? We go to the doctor so that we can track our health progress, whether it's our weight, our blood levels. We get labs and things like that. They check everything. If they didn't measure those things, they wouldn't be able to compare whether we're doing well or not. They wouldn't be able to see the red flags of things that are happening, if there are any, if we don't measure it. So that is helpful in all aspects of life, health, and wellness. Okay? Also, measuring your food helps you understand your portions and see progress even when the scale fluctuates. A lot of time we'll look at the scale and be like, oh my gosh, the scale's not moving, or oh my gosh, I'm gaining weight, not realizing that our waist is shrinking or our clothes are fitting looser. Because we're so hung up on that number on the scale, we feel like we're not making progress when we actually are. And progress looks different for different people. Progress happens faster for different people. And it also, a determining factor is how much work you're actually putting in. If you stall on your progress, if you start a program and you don't really dive into it until like 4 weeks in, you can't expect to get 4 weeks of progress because you're not following it. So you get out of it what you put into it. Okay? Also, if you have not joined our free Sassy Fit Queens Facebook group yet, I would love for you to join. So just let me know. Put a comment below this video if you're watching it back. Reach out to me, let me know, and I will send you the link so that you can join that group. And because it's full of women just like you, working, parenting, juggling life, and still choosing themselves. So that would be a great community to be a part of. Now, as far as staying on track, it is best for you to make sure you move with intention. Now, it's a difference in just like movement. Like going to the store, shopping, that's not intentional movement. You have to move to get to the store. You have to move to go down the aisles and buy your food, right? That's not intentional movement. Intentional movement is when you set aside a set amount of time to be active. Whether you're doing sit-ups, push-ups, walking, jump rope, whatever that is, move with intention for 45 to 60 minutes a day. Walking does count, but it needs to be an intentional walk. Also, you need to resistance train at least 3 to 5 times per week. Not to go under 2. And the reason I say that is in order to build muscle and burn through fat, you need to do some resistance training. It doesn't have to look like lifting the heaviest weight out there. It can be resistance bands. You can get some resistance bands and do some resistance bands exercises. That is resistance. You can do wall push-ups. You can do all types of things, right? You just need to be moving. Make sure you drink plenty of water. I always recommend half your body weight in ounces, but not to exceed 1 gallon. We don't want nobody feeling like they got to drink the ocean, okay? So, and also aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Restful sleep. Not just lying in bed, scrolling on your phone, or watching TV. Actual sleep and restful sleep. That's very important. That way that you can recover after your workout and after a busy week or a busy day. The resting part of your journey is just as important as the activity. A lot of us have this all or nothing mindset, which is a horrible mindset to have. Horrible mindset to have. Because if you don't rest, your body is going to break down and shut down on you. And your body always gives you warning signs of when you've done too much or when you need to pull back. Now, there's a fine line between needing rest and being lazy and making excuses and not being motivated to move. There's a fine line between the two. You know what that is, so you have to be mindful of that. But when you know you have been putting the work in and your body is sore, you're tired, listen to your body, give it the rest it needs, because then you'll come back stronger than ever. But just don't take too long. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to take a whole month off from the gym. Or I'm going to take a whole month off of activity. If you need to take a month off, at the very least, unless you're unable because you're injured or like you broke your knee or something like that, at least get up and get out and walk. Don't just sit and do nothing. Okay? So, before we dive in, I do want to make it very clear that you are not broken, you are not undisciplined, and you don't need to be better to succeed. You just need to utilize a positivity mindset, because most of what holds us back is our mindset. Limiting beliefs, not unlimiting, limiting beliefs. And what that does, you're welcome. And when you have limiting beliefs, a lot of times limiting beliefs happen because of things that someone has told us, things that we've heard from other people, or just things that we tell ourselves. Because let's be real, we have that inner voice that talks to us, and a lot of time it doesn't talk nice. And I always say this: if someone spoke to you the way that you spoke to yourself, you would probably be unhappy and you would probably want to fight them. So if you wouldn't want someone speaking to you the way you speak to yourself, you need to change that. And the only person that can change that is you. That's the only person who can change that. So today is about releasing guilt, learning, getting rid of the all or nothing mindset, and understanding your patterns so that you can be successful in January and forward. Okay? So before we dive in, of course, I love to do icebreakers. We do have someone online with us today. And just know that there are no right or wrong answers, and this is a judgment free space. So I want to know, Isaiah, what are you working on right now when it comes to your health?
So right now, when it comes to my health, I'm right now focused on my mental health. That way, I can work on progressing uh, more of my health going forward because that's where it all starts. It all starts in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing a lot of journaling and trying to figure out what I can do to make sure that my mind is stable and because as you know, for years on end, I've been uh, punishing myself whenever I'm not doing something that I need to, the way it needs to get done, or period.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on reframing my mind so I don't do that anymore, amongst other things, coming with my mentality. So that's what I'm doing right now.
That's good. I like that. I like that. And like I said before, punishing yourself is limiting. When you don't give yourself grace, and again, there's a fine line between giving yourself grace and making excuses. But if you wallow and wallow and wallow in the mistakes you made, I just had a conversation with someone yesterday. They told me they had a lot of regrets. And, you know, they want to not bite off more than they can chew so that they don't add to their regret list. And my response to that was my perspective on regret is that that's an opportunity to grow. If you wallow in regret, you're saying to yourself, this is what I did, I didn't learn from it, and it sucks that I didn't do better. Rather than, this is what I did, that was a learning lesson, that was a teachable moment. I know now not to do that anymore. This is what I'm going to do moving forward. Because at the end of the day, you can't change the past. The past has happened. What you can control is what's going on now. You can't predict the future, and you cannot undo the past. And with that information, all you can do is focus on the present. How can I make sure that I don't repeat patterns from the past? And be intentional because you know what you did to get to whatever situation that caused you regret. You know what you did. So, how can I move forward, not repeat the past, and make my future better? Regret serves no one. You can be unhappy. You cannot like what you did. You can be like, dang, I wish I had done better. But regret is like the first and horrible sign of self sabotage. And it can be a downward spiral if you're not careful. So I'm glad that you said you're working on your mental health. That's very important. And journaling is a great tool to use when you are trying to learn and grow. When I journal, and when I first started journaling, I was looking for patterns in my behavior. I was looking for holes in my character. Because for me, I was like, I'm a great person. Why do I feel this way? Why am I being treated this way? And through journaling, I realized a major pattern. And that pattern was a lack of boundaries. I would say yes to everybody. I would do things I really didn't want to do. And that made people walk on me because they didn't take me serious. And so once I discovered the behavior pattern that I had that was contributing to the way I was being treated or the way my life was going, through journaling, I was able to find that and figure out, okay, what is the solution? Because I'm a solution oriented person by nature. And if I don't like how something feels, I'm going to try to figure out what I can do to fix it. So relate that back to fitness. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're feeling sick, if you have high blood pressure, if you have diabetes, if your labs are out of range, if you're threatening all these things, if you're like, oh my gosh, I just want to do Ozempic because that's going to solve my problems. First and foremost, Ozempic is not going to solve your problems. Ozempic might make you lose weight, but it does nothing for your habits. So once you go down that line and say, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I look like, and I don't like it, you need to find that solution to fixing it. But the issue is, again, with this mindset thing, we go and say what we want to change, but we don't have the capacity or the discipline to do the work to fix it. And so we end up staying stuck in that thing that made us this way, stuck in those habits that contributed to why we are the way we are. So mindset is definitely a strong thing. So you said that you're currently working on your mental health so that you can do what you need to do. What do you think might make this hard for you? You're muted.
Okay. I was thinking,
Oh, okay.
but yeah,
Some examples could be time, stress, family, consistency, motivation.
honestly, all of that.
All of it?
But if I'm thinking in terms of uh right now, I would think um when I what I would think would be making it hard is I would say listening to negative voices, even if it's my own instead of blocking that out.
Okay. So, what do you think is causing the negative? Why? What is causing the negative voices, the negative self-talk? What has caused that? Is it something that someone has told you, or you just beat your own self up for no reason?
It's something that someone has told me, and instead of taking it as constructive criticism, I turn it the other way into uh beating myself up over it.
Mm. Do you know why that is?
I haven't really gotten around to finding that out.
Okay. Well, that's important. That's going to be something else that would be beneficial to try to find out. Why is it that constructive criticism for you turns into self sabotage? That's like me singing, right? I love to sing. It's something I'm passionate about. It's my way to pour out my heart and things like that. And if I were to go to uh, a songwriting convention of sorts, right, and have someone who's been doing it for years, who's a coach and who's a mentor for songwriters, and they read my lyrics and they give me feedback. They say this is good, but it could be better if XYZ. Or with my singing, you sound beautiful, but I need you to put a little bit more emotion into your singing. That would be like me taking that and telling myself I'm not a good songwriter. Or taking that criticism, that constructive criticism about me emoting when I sing, meaning I can't sing or I can't reach people. Instead of taking that constructive criticism about my songwriting and you figuring out how to utilize that and enhance my writing skills. Or with the emotions, watching videos and watching other singers and how they emote and learning how to do that. Constructive criticism isn't a beat up session. That's just like if I were to come to you and I would say, okay, your meal looks decent, but you have too many carbs on your plate, so I need you to remove that carb and replace it with this. Or instead of eating that, I need you to eat this because that's going to help you get to your goal faster. And you take that as, I can't do this. I knew I couldn't do this. I eat horrible. Did I say you eat horrible? Or did I say your food looks decent, but you have too many carbs on your plate, so have either this or that, not both? Did I say you didn't know what you was doing or you was gonna fail? That's what self-sabotage does when you get constructive criticism and you then turn around and beat yourself up. Or if you don't get the job that you were looking for, or if you don't get the gig you were auditioning for, and you tell yourself, I'm not good enough. That's what self sabotage does. You still need to believe in yourself. Take that information, as hard as it may be to receive, learn from it and grow. You cannot learn if you never get constructive criticism, if you never allow people to give you notes on things that you can do better. So you have to find out, you have to do this. Nobody can do this but you. You have to find out what it is within yourself that's not allowing you to hear the message of the criticism. And there is a difference in constructive criticism and somebody just being rude. You have to know the difference. And it's not hard to decipher because somebody being rude, you can tell. But if somebody's giving you information and they have your best interests at heart because they want you to grow, you have to be able to hear that. Okay, they are giving me this information because they see potential in something that I'm able to do and I'm holding myself back. And it's not easy to hear for nobody. It's not easy to hear. It's not easy to look in the mirror and say, Chiquita, you need to do better. Chiquita, you are limiting yourself because you're not doing this. And it's even harder to hear somebody else tell you something that you already know about yourself. Half the time, the stuff that we hear from other people, we already know that about ourselves. We just need that push to get it done. And that's why people hire coaches, because they know they need to hear it. They need that push. Make sense?
Yes, Mom.
So, in your words, what does success look like for you this year?
Hmm. Well, as far as as far as that goes, um, getting to a place where I can receive constructive criticism well and it sticks, and then implementing what I was told consistently so that I can progress.
Yeah, that's a good goal. I appreciate you for sharing that. So, what I do want you to hear, and I need you to hear this loud and clear, you are
Yes,
not
ma'am.
behind, you are not broken, you are simply learning, and that's exactly what this space is for. Like I said at the beginning of the call, everybody makes progress at different levels. Everybody picks up on things at different levels. You just have to be willing to put the work in. All right? So
Yes,
now
ma'am.
we're going to start with something very simple when it comes to why your nutrition matters. And believe it or not, proper nutrition helps with mental health as well. If you're eating trash, you're throwing that off. And people don't realize how closely connected food is to your brain, right? First and foremost, food is fuel. If you don't have food, you don't have energy, you end up feeling froggy and foggy. Some people snap, excuse me, some people snap at people because they get hangry, right? So think of it this way, your body works just like a car. If you put the wrong fuel in a car, like soda instead of gas, it will not run well. It might not even start. It might turn for a second, but you ain't going too far with no soda in your gas tank. Mm-hmm. Go on and put some soda in your gas tank. See where you go. Your body is the exact same way. So when you eat foods that don't fuel your body well, just like I mentioned, you feel tired, cranky, you crave sugar, you feel foggy, you gain weight easily, and your workouts feel harder because you're not fueling with the right stuff. Your body, although human, is like a machine. It needs the right fuel. So when you eat food that fuels your body well, you're going to have more energy, your mood is going to improve, you recover better, your body responds faster, and your weight loss feels easier if that's the end goal. So exercise helps to shape your body, but nutrition is the one that runs the show. You don't know how many people I see go to the gym every single day and look the same every single day, every single year. You know why that is? Because they working out, but they eating garbage outside the gym. I promise you that when you go to the gym, I'll say it this way, what you do in the dark is revealed in person. Just because you go to the gym every day does not make you healthy. Because you could be going to the gym and right afterwards going to the fast food joint eating nachos and cheese all the time. I done seen people going into the gym after they smoke, funking up the place. I done seen people leave out of the gym and light up a smoke. I see people do enormous amounts of cardio and they still look the same. And it's not the workout, it's the food. So here's the 80-20 rule relief for us perfectionist people out there. Because I say 80-20 all the time. And I want to say this early because some of y'all need to hear it. You do not, and I emphasize not, need to eat perfectly. We aim for 80% of nourishing foods and 20% of fun foods. Y'all don't think I have a cake every once in a while? A chocolate chip cookie? Some Cape Cod potato chips? Right? Y'all don't think I eat a cheesecake every once in a while? Yes, I do. Do I eat it every day? Do I eat it every other day? Do I have sweets all the time? Do I eat it late at night before I go to bed? No, I do not. Majority of my nutrition is built around nourishing foods. Nutrition is not about punishment. A lot of people think it is. Oh, I can't do this because that means I'm going. You don't know how many people reach out to me and be like, I want to work with you, but I can't eat bland food. First of all, why are you coming at me that way saying I can't eat bland food? Who told you was going to have to eat bland food? Who told you that? Ain't none of my food bland. So, a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions around nutrition. It's about supporting your body, not controlling it. So let's break down nutrition in baby steps. The first part, which I say all the time, protein. Protein is the most important macronutrient. I say this all the time. I call protein the builder. Why? Because protein helps build and repair your body. So think of protein like building blocks or Legos, right? It helps you build muscle, burn fat, it keeps you full, it helps you balance your blood sugar. It also helps you reduce your cravings. Some examples of protein is chicken, turkey, eggs, Greek yogurt, beans, fish, and protein shakes. Every meal you consume should have a source of protein, even snacks. Some people would just grab a banana. Where's your protein? Have a shake with that banana. Have some Greek yogurt with that banana. Only eat half of the banana. Don't eat the whole thing. Because banana, even though it's a fruit, it has a lot of sugar and a lot of carbs. So if you must have the whole banana, if you're going to have something that's very high intensity, like you're going to do a show and you're going to be moving a lot, have the whole banana and have a shake or have some Greek yogurt. Or I'll see just people eat nuts. You really should only be having 1 ounce of the nuts and have a shake. Or have some Greek yogurt. Put it on top of your yogurt. If somebody has beef jerky as a snack, boom, that's protein by itself. So every single meal should have protein in it. Even if you're doing a low carb meal, it shouldn't be rice and veggies. It should be protein and veggies. Okay? Now the next layer of macros is carbs. So many people want to eat on a low carb diet and wonder why they don't have no energy. Carbs is the energy. It gives your body energy. It's like the gas in your car. So carbs help you fuel your brain, support your workouts, improve your mood, and prevent crashes. So here are some examples of better carbs to eat. Fruit, rice, potatoes, oats, beans, and veggies. Yes, green veggies are carbs. They're just lighter carbs. Carbs are not the enemy. It's the processed carbs when people overeat on those things like bread, cakes, pies, chips, cookies. Those are the processed carbs that are not good for you. So when I hear people say carbs are bad, I'm like, no, they're not. Carbs are not bad. Too much sugar with no balance is the problem. Is this making sense? And the last layer is fats. So fats is the protector. Fats protect your body and your brain. Think of fats like a phone case. They protect what's important. Healthy fats help with your hormones, especially with women. Eat too little fats, your hormones go out of whack. It also helps with brain health. It helps to keep you full, and it helps with vitamin absorption. What's the point of taking vitamins if your body can't absorb it? So, some examples of healthy fats are avocado, olive oil, nuts, and seeds. So, peanut butter, almond butter, things like that. Those fall in the fats category, not protein. A lot of people think that peanut butter is a source of protein. It's not. Look on the back of the nutrition label. Whatever number is the highest out of the protein, carbs, and fats, that's what you're eating. If you look on the back of a pack of chicken, the highest number is going to be protein. It's not a carb. And depending on the cut of the chicken, whether it's the leg, the wing, the thigh, will determine how many fats in it, but it's going to be way more protein. If you pick up a bag of rice, the carb number is going to be higher. You pick up a container of peanut butter or olive oil, the fat content number is going to be higher. So, what does a balanced plate look like? I'm so glad you asked. Let me make this very simple. A balanced plate looks like protein, carbs, fats, and veggies when possible. So, a good example would be chicken with rice, broccoli, and olive oil. This balance keeps you full, prevents overeating, and supports fat loss. It also gives steady energy. So always a meat, a carb, a veggie, and you can cook it in oil. If you don't eat meat, you got beans, you have lentils. It's still carbs, but it'll have some protein in there too. So here are some common nutrition mistakes that I know of. And I want to call all of these out, not to shame you, but so you can recognize them. The biggest common factor is skipping meals. Also, eating mostly carbs with no protein. Some people will put potatoes and rice and beans on the same plate. Potatoes, rice, beans, and veggies. You don't need potatoes, rice, beans, and veggies. You either need rice and beans or potatoes, right? You don't need all three. Not drinking enough water, waiting until you're starving to eat, or thinking one bad meal ruined everything. My rule of thumb for meals is this: eat every 2 to 3 hours, not to exceed 4 hours in between meals. If you go longer than 4 hours without eating, you are going to be starving and you're under eating at that point. And your body is going to hold on to fat. It's doing your metabolism no good to eat like that. None of these means that you have failed. They mean that you're learning. And you have to get this information so that you can do better. So, which one of these feel like your biggest struggle right now? Skipping meals? I'm going to put it in the chat actually, so that you can, which one? Which one of those feel like your biggest struggle right now? You're muted, just so you know.
I was just I was just reading it.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. Ah, Dog, I kind of fall under three of them.
What three?
Skipping meals, low energy, and not knowing what to eat.
Okay. So, the low energy could be skipping meals. The low energy could come from skipping meals, as we've uncovered, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Not knowing what to eat is very common, but I just gave you a blueprint
Yes, ma'am.
of how your meal should look. So, was that helpful?
Yes, ma'am. Um, so are there any plant protein sources, or is it just coming from the
The
meat and
plant pro- the
yeah.
plant pro I mean, there are plant protein sources, but just keep in mind that you're not going to get as much protein with the plant protein sources as you would with the animal protein. So if you
Okay.
put beans and rice together, you're having more protein than if you just ate the rice. Um,
Right.
and lentils and things like that, like beans. Beans give you a little bit more protein, but not nearly as much. So if you were to eat rice and beans, you might get what 10 grams of protein versus if you were to eat some fish or chicken, you're going to get 25 to 30 grams of protein.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And also with the beans and rice, although it has protein in it, you're getting more carbs because
Right.
it's a carb source.
Right.
Makes
Okay.
sense?
Yes.
So if you have a meal with rice and beans, I mean that's fine, but just know like you might want to pair it with if you're okay with the animal protein, pair it with something else that has a lean protein. Like when I do oatmeal, I love oatmeal. I
I
always
mean,
pair it.
right now.
I always pair it with eggs. I
Hmm.
always pair it with eggs because even if I top it with nuts, I'm adding fats to my oatmeal, not protein. So I always pair my oatmeal with eggs. I always pair my cream of rice with eggs. If I don't feel like eggs, I'll eat some Greek yogurt with my oatmeal or I'll drink a protein shake with my oatmeal. But I always pair it with protein. Okay, I see you. Now, I will tell you that that's a very sugary protein shake.
Yeah. Okay.
Turn it around on the back and look at protein. Tell me how many grams of protein is in that.
Uh, oh, 5
Exactly. How many
and
grams
this
of sugar is it?
10
Huh?
includes 5. 10 includes 5 grams of added sugar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is more. And how many carbs?
Carbs is 35. So
So
that's my
base so
that's actually
base
a carb source.
that's a carb source. Based on the information I gave you, you're drinking carbs. You're not drinking protein.
Okay.
That's
Um.
why reading the nutrition facts is important. Because even though it says breakfast, whatever it says, it has a lot of sugar in it, very little protein, and a lot of carbs. 35 grams of carbs to 5 grams of protein, that's not a protein drink.
Right. Right. Uh.
So the premier protein
Yeah.
has 1 gram of sugar, 30 grams of protein. Make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
And the carbs might be 5 grams. You see
Right.
the difference there?
Yes, ma'am.
Them breakfast drinks are horrible. When I see people drink it, I just mind my business because they didn't ask me. But I know that they're drinking sugar. So your breakfast is a sugary breakfast because you're eating oatmeal and you're drinking that. Show me again, what's it called?
It's
Or put it up to the camera.
breakfast essentials.
Yep, that breakfast essential fruit smoothie protein. They lying. That the front of the excuse me, the front of the label, they lie. It's it's advertisement. They making you think you're
Oh yeah.
drinking a protein smoothie. You're not drinking a protein smoothie, you're drinking a sugar smoothie.
Mm. The when it came down to me talking about me wanting more protein options and stuff like that, it's like grandma automatically went to the defense, like, if you have too much protein and you can have problems and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not. I'm thinking in my head when she said that, I'm like, I'm not getting enough protein. That's the problem.
And that's another misconception that people feel like too much protein will cause you problems. That's not true. Most people don't eat enough protein. Don't consume enough protein just like you said. A lot of women especially feel like too much protein is bad. And the funny thing about that is they never give you how is it bad. So if I was to ask you saying if I have too much protein, it can cause problems. Tell me what problems is it going to cause me? They can't answer that question. You know why? Cuz it's not going to cause you no problems. If
Right.
you are consuming 1 pound per goal body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds and your goal is to weigh 130 and you consume 130 grams of protein per day, your body is going to be benefiting from that because you're going to have more muscle, less fat. And it also keeps you full so you don't feel like you got to eat the wrong stuff all the time. So you are right. You need more protein. You are not going to have too much protein. And there is a negative connotation behind the protein. And people need to understand that the sources of protein matter. You don't want to stuff up on a bunch of um, supplemental proteins. So I
Mm,
recommend no more than two. If you're going to have a shake, no more than two because you want to get majority of your protein from whole foods. However, there are some people out there who will drink shakes all day and don't eat no food. That's not benefiting your body. You need actual whole foods. So, so you might want to look at the Premier Protein. They have it at Sam's, they have it at Costco. But that sugary drink you just showed me,
yeah.
that is not good for you. If if
And
if
how many
somebody
was
want to
in
talk,
there? Like six?
if
Six?
somebody want to talk about what's bad for you, talk about how much sugar is in that drink and how too much sugar can cause you problems.
Right,
That should
right,
be the conversation, not too much protein.
right. And then the whole thing about me not being allowed to cook on the stove or anything like that when nobody is in the vicinity to oversee me in case I, forget to turn the stove over, stuff like that. That's also
Well, that's fine.
mm,
Just like I said, whatever you can have or make. I gave you examples of snacks. You have your
mhm.
oatmeal, and if you have that shake, you'll be fine. And then the
Protein
yogurt.
something with.
Hmm.
So I forget I had the protein powder and I could do something with.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. And you can do that with water or almond milk.
Yes, mom.
So that's what you need going forward. That's what you should be having with your oatmeal. The protein powder that was first form.
Yes, mom.
Yes. That has like 25 grams of protein per scoop. If you put almond milk or whatever your milk of choice is, that adds a little bit more protein to it. Um, or you can do it with water.
Yes, mom.
I like to do mine with water because I don't like thick shakes.
Oh, oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I hope those tips helped, and read the labels.
I used to read them all the time. I don't know.
Used to ain't
I
benefiting
just
right
skipped.
now.
I just skipped over. I don't know.
Used to ain't benefiting right now.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of habits get broken, and then people say, "Oh, I used to." Well, if you used to, you know what you need to do. If it was a used to habit, it can be a habit again. Make
Yes,
sense?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So just know nutrition does not need to be complicated. It needs to be consistent. Make sure you focus on eating regularly, adding protein, drinking water, building balanced meals. Drink drink 4 ounces of water before you start eating if you're one that struggles with overeating. Drink 4 ounces of water before you start, and then drink 8 ounces when you're done, and I promise you will not be overeating. A lot of times it's your mindset. People feel like, oh, they might not even be hungry. They be done eating and then they be like, man, I got a taste for this. You're not even hungry. How you got a taste for something? Drink some water, drink some tea, you'll be fine. So small changes daily equal big results over time. Reading labels is going to benefit you. Take the extra time, it's worth it. Take the extra time to eat or read the label so you, because one thing that we can't control what they put in the stores, but we can control what we put in our mouth. I'm gonna say that again. You cannot control what is sold in stores, but you can control what you put in your mouth. So if you care about what you put in your mouth, you will read the label. I care very heavily about what I put in my mouth because I care about how it makes me feel after I eat it. And I, for one, don't like to feel bad. I don't like my stomach to be upset. So I'm not just going to put everything in my mouth. People can call me picky. They can call me bougie. I'll be whatever you need me to be. I'm not eating it. So, I always like to give homework. So, before our next session next week, I want you to practice one thing. Add protein to at least 2 meals per day. Drink an extra glass of water daily. And notice how your body feels, your energy, your mood, and your hunger. No perfection is required, just awareness. All right? So that is your homework. And I sent it to you as well, just so you have it. And I truly appreciate you for joining me today. This wraps up our group coaching session. And as we close, I want you to hear this clearly. Listening, we're
Yes,
starting the
ma'am.
year with the basics for a reason. Strong basics equals strong results. You don't need more rules. The rules have not changed. It's no need to reinvent the wheel. You need clarity, and now you have it. All right? So, final engagement question, one word. What is one word you're choosing to carry into January instead of guilt?
I don't know. Tip of my
Don't overthink it. The first word that comes to your
Ooh,
mind.
I had it right there. Progression.
Ooh. And why did you choose progression?
Because when it comes down to everything, I'm focusing on progression and over perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And because perfectionism is always what leads to guilt. So if I flip that and work on progression, won't have to deal with the guilt.
I like that. That's good. That's good. Well, make sure you carry that through January. Um, and of course, we're probably gonna be choosing another word next week, but make sure you carry that one. And I appreciate you for showing up for yourself today. This is
Yes.
how real change happens. One honest conversation at a time. And you were very honest today. I'm sure the people who watch this back will appreciate the things that you shared. It might resonate with them. So I am proud of you. So you know that. And let's continue to walk in January steady, confident, and empowered. All right.
Yes,
I,
ma'am.
I look forward to seeing you next week for another webinar where we will continue with the basics. And we're going to be talking about daily habits and macros 101 breakdown.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Until next time, Coach Sassy Fit is out. Ta-ta for now.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.